Did you grow up always feeling a bit out of place? And do you recognize that feeling of a cold surge of shame when you look up and realize that you did something wrong, but you don't know what the proper way of behaving would have looked like? Were you an awkward child? If you grew up with a narcissistic parent, that awkwardness was not a flaw in you. It was the result of, as a child, having to navigate through life without an adult guide. And living in a home where the rules kept changing according to their whims or moods. To heal, it's important to have compassion for yourself and understanding that you were an awkward child and why this happened, why things happened and play out the way they did is part of that healing. That is also the first step in starting to build a real, stable inner core. I'm Emma, a medical doctor and abuse survivor. Let's get into it. First of all, you had a faulty map. There are several reasons why this happens. Firstly, the shifting rules. In a healthy home, there are a stable set of rules, and kids learn through repetition and from watching the adults. Say thank you, put away your plate, good job. Over time, you build an inner map of what's acceptable and what isn't. With the narcissistic parents, the rules are unstable. They keep shifting. One day you're told to speak up, and the next day you're told to shut up. If you smile too much, you are mocking them, and if you don't smile, you are ungrateful. The goalpost keeps shifting, and this is because the narcissistic parents' aim is not to teach you how to properly act in the world. It's to teach you to adjust to them. They also purposefully break you down through verbal assaults, insults, mocking you, or making you feel worthless. I remember when I was 13 years old and I just hung up the phone from speaking with the principal of another school, getting her to agree that I would come there for a school project. And the minute I put down the phone, my mother told me that your voice was so shrill when you spoke with her. And instantly, that proud I felt about having been able to complete that call with an adult turned into shame. This constant putting down of you, criticizing you, pointing out your flaws makes you feel wrong, misplaced, stupid, no matter what you do, even if you are doing something good or brave. They also isolate you from other adult role models. The narcissistic parent wants to be the most influential person in your life. So if there's another healthy adult that is getting close to you, then they might undermine that. They might badmouth you to that person or prevent visits or stir up drama or conflict purposefully to get an excuse for you not to see them. And the non-toxic parent, if there was one in your home, they're often exhausted and under the narcissist's thumb, unable to see what is happening to you and unable to protect you. Living with a narcissist means living in chaos. There is conflict, there might be several moves, there might be financial instability, drama. All of this prevents you from getting a proper footing. The feeling of being different. You might have had to dress in second-hand clothes that didn't fit your size, or clothes from the other gender when you didn't feel comfortable in that. You might have not been reminded to take care of your teeth or to take a shower, and neglected. And all of this may have made you feel different from your peers. As a child in this situation, you have no choice but to adapt. So you learn to scan the room, get clues from the environment, how to act. And while other kids are more secure, they might take a chance and they might learn from trial and error, you get stuck because your main aim is to avoid trouble. Maybe you were very shy as a kid, afraid to express yourself, and maybe you were bullied in school, because when you're used to getting treated like this at home, that's something that the bullies pick up on, and that you're a person who won't push back and who don't have the confidence to answer them back. So this is precisely the type of person that the bullies love to pick on. This is exactly why survivors, many of us, feel awkward later in life. Because we didn't get that stable home core, the repetition, the feedback, the ability to discuss our thoughts and our concerns with an adult who could advise us. Often we develop a habit of overthinking. Did I do something wrong? Are they mad at me? What's the proper way to act here? That constant second guessing is not a sign that there is something wrong or different about you. It's the remains of a survival pattern that you had to develop early in life. For me, the big change in my confidence came after I was licensed as a medical doctor, because now I had a profession where the rules of behavior and hierarchy were very clear, and I also were lucky enough to have non-toxic colleagues who could give me feedback, and there were clear rules for when I succeeded or when I have done a mistake and how to correct that mistake. So slowly I began to develop some confidence in my professional area, and then I could begin to take that confidence forward to other parts of my life. And that's exactly the first step in healing this childhood awkwardness, this lack of a stable inner core. Finding a safe environment, free from toxic people, and with other healthy adults with whom you can work together, who can give you feedback, and who you can share part of your life's journey, if it's in a work setting, in a friend group, or in a volunteer project. Sometimes the first safe, stable other adult is a therapist, and there we can build a bond that we can begin to trust, and from that begin to expand it. Sometimes therapy is needed for that support, to be able to expand that blooming confidence into other parts of the world, and for that person to sort of act as a stand-in parent, another healthy adult who is able to guide you and give you feedback, and to reflect back to you what you did well, what is normal in this situation, and what perhaps you can work on in a constructive manner. We also need to heal body trauma. Learn to feel at ease in our bodies, no matter what it is that brings us into that flow. Dance, meditation, yoga, running. It will be individual, but find something that helps you work through the trauma and the awkwardness in your body. We also need to work through the shame. Healing means looking at our wounds and grieving them, and then releasing that shame or sadness that is underneath. Where you start on your healing journey is individual, but every step counts. Every win counts. Every new thing that you're brave enough to try and to learn from counts. They are all steps in moving you forward on the healing journey. You weren't awkward because you were inherently different or flawed. You were a bit awkward because you had to learn to survive in an environment where you were made to feel different and bad and awkward on purpose. And when you were denied the proper map and the proper rules, please don't blame yourself for this. I know that now as an adult, you can get that stable core. You can heal. You can find the safe people. You can choose to break with the toxic ones and create a different future for yourself and for the healthy people that you love. If this video resonated with you, know that you're not alone. These feelings and these patterns are much more common than we think. In Friday's video, we will talk about exactly why this type of childhood trauma can be the basis for you falling head over heels for a narcissistic partner when you grow up. Subscribe and hit the bell if you don't want to miss the video. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Emma holding up a light over the bridge. See you in the next video.